Dan Boingo will not stay at the FBI if Pam Bondi is not removed. Not only is Dan Boingo, but now Kash Patel is threatening to resign if Pam Bondi isn't fired as Attorney General. Holy fucking shit. If Kash leaves, MAGA implodes, I'm gonna be honest. I totally side with Kash Patel over Pam Bondi. Any fucking day of the week, absolutely, without a fucking second. Like, yeah, bro, like, this guy is, I think this guy is way more on our side than she is.
Here's the intel I've got from multiple FBI sources and White House-connected sources. One of them being Carl Serafin, who's really proven he's really dialed in and has a great knack for figuring out what's going on. There is orders obviously coming down from the top, Trump, to move on from the Epstein thing. And so when this fiasco came out with them giving mixed messages on the Epstein files, the first move was to blame Pam Bondi, who Susie Walls likes, Trump likes, but everybody else doesn't like, and reportedly is on her way out in the near future. At least people are pushing for that. Bongino will probably resign, if not now, soon.
They have to resign. They have to resign to protect their own reputations. Because if they don't resign, then they're complicit.
And then he can keep his honor and go.
I can, guys, I have a crazy idea for the new Attorney General. I've got a crazy idea. I know it might not seem, but there have been so many videos of Alex Jones acting like he should be in the Warhammer 40K universe as an Inquisitor that I think we should give him a shot.
Back to the media, and Kash Patel is really the guy.
No. Everybody says no. No, gentlemen. Like, back this. No. You see, you don't understand.
They've all got mustaches and they bug their eyes out at you and think they scare you. And you just look like an absolute clown freak that works for murdering terrorists that jack our food and water. I think you're a big joke. That's what I think you are, murdering scum. And army bases all over the world raping.
I'm telling you guys. Drastic times call for drastic solutions. No one does it better.
That the establishment likes.
Making a very strong point.
I'm not saying he's overall a bad person, but because of some of the issues and some of his congressional testimony that they could call perjury, that they still let slip through, that he's more and more what the Washington system actually likes.
Yes.
And so that's where we're at on all of this. I wanted to get Robert Barnes' take on what I'm saying here on air. And
someone says we already have a conspiracy theorist running the health department. I don't think we need another one in there as well. Do you know what the funny thing is? I think that RFK has probably been the least controversial and the most positive impact. RFK said no more Red 2, and they stopped making Red 2. So we had what? So let me get this straight. So you bring in a nutball, and he has all these nutball policies that are Red 40 that nobody believes are true, and then he just does them and things are better. You found where autism comes from? Yeah, it's from DeviantArt. I could have told you that.
The fact that I don't believe this Epstein Streisand effect's going away, I think what's gone on the last few months, really intensifying last week, is only going to get more intense now. That's my view. I think it's a giant distraction from overall the great things the Trump administration is doing. And I wish this fiasco would have never happened.
True.
Because now Epstein's gone from a mega massive story to really the biggest ever. And it's going to become one of the deciding issues of the Trump administration, regardless of what Trump wants. So that's where we are. What's your take?
Yep, fucking exactly. This is exactly the way I feel about it, 100%. And he loses hair in the lawsuit? I guess so. I believe they dropped the Epstein because of the bullshit disaster on purpose, so I don't know. But either way, Dan Boingo, if they resign, if him and Kash Patel both resign, that would be probably the most based possible thing that you could do.
Whitewash broke just a few days ago. It seems like 100 years ago. I told everybody this is a big scandal, ladies and gentlemen. And I told you it came right from the top, from Trump, for whatever reason he wants to move on. Never seen any evidence he's connected to Epstein. But regardless, we were told all this stuff was coming out. Now we're told it never existed, when we know a ton of stuff does exist. But I told you this wasn't just going to blow over. And the fact that they handled this way was going to create a giant Streisand effect. Well, now it has.
Just a minute. We got to deal with somebody. Be responsible. Be careful. Not everyone has the same IQ as you. Stop and return. What do you want happy about? What have I said that you're not happy? Actually, you know what? You're saying these. You're making abstract statements. Why am I even going to begin arguing with a person that's just making these abstract, meaningless statements?
Warnock came out and said, looks like Bongino
Really?
will resign. I believe he
Just,
will.
yeah.
I think it's overall because
There's no reason to put up with
integrity. And it's not even about Trump. It's just about the way things have been handled.
Yeah.
And where this is going. Trump is doing so much good. His administration is doing so much good. Tom Homan, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Maha, trying to stop the wars. It's so important. But this attempt to say, never talk about Epstein again, move along, these aren't the George you're looking for, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, is backfiring.
Yep.
And now the Democrats want hearings.
He's
it's
right.
just all going completely insane. The answer to all of this is to just put the information out.
Yep.
The answer is to tell the truth. Let the chips fall where they may. Yes, it can kill the stock market. Yes, it's going to bring down a lot of powerful people.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the powerful people that set up this corrupt system. We didn't elect Trump to play half measures. We didn't elect Trump to sit there and take over the establishment. We elected him to demolish the establishment.
That's one thing to keep in mind. A lot of people wanted Trump to go in and completely fuck everything up. That's exactly it. That was the goal.
Trump didn't save him in Butler and take him through all these crises to then just...
Would you support releasing the files even if Trump is in them? Absolutely. If it says verbatim, guaranteed, without a shadow of a doubt, Trump did the worst of the worst things, I would say put it out there right now. How could you not?
Take over the establishment, try to dismantle it that way. No, we want the whole thing to come crashing down for the whole world to see as an example to future tyrants. If we don't do that, God's going to judge us. Probably nuclear hellfire. That's my view on it. What do you think below? But I believe Bongino will be gone by Monday.
That was a pretty fast escalation. Wow.
Got a comment on what's happening in Washington with Dan Bundy.
This is they found this. There was a homeless man on the side of the street. He heard what Trump said about the windmills, and he was trying to count the amount of dead birds that are underneath the windmills. And they decided to stop and interview him and ask him what he thinks about the Epstein files.
Dan Bundy, a direct plea to President Trump. Please, President Trump, I know you're not involved at this level. I know that you are busy working on huge projects, but America can't lose Dan Bongino. He has so much credibility. Everybody knows him, loves him. Pam Bondi.
You record your fucking... Bro, like, you literally worked in media for fucking 30, 40 fucking years. You really... Why did you get out of your car? You could have just recorded this fucking shit in your car. It would not have had this... What are you doing, man? Why would you do this? This is so dumb. Like, it's Glenn Beck. It is. It's Glenn Beck. And so anyway, is there so much credibility? Everybody knows him or knows him? No, I think so. I'll watch one more video and then we'll wrap this up.
I get a call, I don't know, about 4 years ago. It's from, let's say, a friend. Prior line of work thing, right? Guy says, listen. And this guy who calls me is an unimpeachable source. This guy's not like some ham and egg or tomato can guy throwing out some theory about a UFO he saw 72 years ago, whatever. This is like a legit no-nonsense guy. Guy you trust with your, wife, kid, and car, right? He says, I got sent on a temporary assignment once. And on that assignment, I got sent out on the WCD detail, William Clinton detail. And I knew this guy well. And he says, Dan, I got to share this with someone. He said, I go on a plane and and Bill, Clinton gets on the plane with this guy, and it turns out later the guy's Epstein. Now, this guy I'm talking to, this source, he don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is. He's just getting on the plane doing the thing, the whole, protection gig, right? He says, I get on the plane, and there's these girls who are obviously not of age who are on this plane.
Are you telling me that there's a bunch of underage girls on the airplane called the Lolita Express? No fucking way. Next thing you're going to tell me that does KFC sell chicken? I had no fuck. What about Burger King? Do they have any burgers over there?
They're clearly young. These are not women. These are girls. And he says, I see Clinton like disappear into the back.
Convenient.
He goes, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying what happened because all I know is he disappeared and these girls were back there or whatever. And he said they landed the.
Let me ask you guys, those of you all who voted for Donald Trump for president, what would your response be if Donald Trump had Bill Clinton arrested for sex trafficking of minors? What would your response be? Cinema based W. I would laugh my ass off. I did vote for that. That would be winning on a level that I didn't even know was possible. It's not going to happen. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Best damn president. That would be, I think there's a very low probability. Listen, this is the way that I always look at most things. I think there are a lot of things like this that are 1% chances. But if you open up my World of Warcraft account, I have a lot of 1% chance mounts. 1%'s happen. When was the last time an ex-president got arrested? Donald Trump.
Next stop,
like
wherever
2 years
it was. And he goes up to the boss on the detail and he says, I ain't getting back on this plane. Because he's a temp. He's not used to like whatever Clinton was up to with the whole shenanigans thing. And this guy is clear as the driven snowman. He don't want to mess around with this. Mm-hmm. He says, whatever just happened back there, like, I don't want any piece of it. They sent him home. They sent that guy home. And he was never tempted to that detail again. Now, remember,
where is all of this data? This is all government record, right? So if it all got deleted, so there's two universes. The universe where it exists, well, that's easy to figure out. And the universe where it got deleted. If it got deleted, I think we should know that it got deleted.
Those Blackberries on that detail. Here's where the story gets super weird. The guy tells me, months or a couple weeks later, when you lose property in the Secret Service, an email goes out. It'll say like, hey, I lost his phone. And it gets logged into NCIC or whatever it is. Yeah. And everybody knows. So basically, if you find this guy's gun, God forbid, or his phone, it's now effectively stolen property, right?
Yeah, sure.
All of a sudden, all the Blackberries on that detail for the agents start showing up like, oh, this guy lost his BlackBerry. Holy shit. Wow, that's so crazy. How'd that happen? I'm like, no. He says, yes. He says it was the craziest thing. Like, oh, look, Agent Joey Bag of Donuts, missing BlackBerry. This is around the whole time. Like the Clinton thing's going.
Are you really telling me that this guy is the co-head of the FBI? Either he's lying. Why is this guy not empowered to look into this? And if you want me to look, as I said, these are the faces of shame. This is not the face of a liar. This isn't the face of a deceiver. This is the face of shame and guilt. He's resigning? I think he should.
So fast forward this story, right? He tells me that about a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it. But the short story, but not who they are. Says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no.
What?
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that?
What?
The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset. Meaning his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake.
Anybody that this is, if they were exclusively in one person's custody, the political party at the time of recovering them would have used them and weaponized them. This is obviously not true.
The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who's a very, very good reporter. I mean,
does the source just trust me? I mean, I understand that you might not want to believe this guy 100%. But isn't it crazy how so many of these stories come together that kind of paint the same picture? It's like if you were making a jigsaw puzzle, like let's say you have a 300-piece jigsaw puzzle. You have 285 pieces. And it's very clearly like, I don't know, it's like a bird on a tree. And somebody keeps trying to say, no, it's a motorcycle. And you say, no, it's a bird on a tree. Look, it's obviously, they say, well, how do you know that? You only have 283 out of the 300 pieces. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. Something is wrong. You're wrong about this matter, very wrong. You have to understand there's a limit to what people can do. Trump saved us from fucking people who hate America, and we're running America. Wake up, stop staying at home. Trump should do this. If you don't know everything, there are things Trump can't do. Let me ask you this. Why can't Trump do this? Why not? Didn't Trump just threaten to bomb Moscow to Putin? Wasn't it just exposed that Trump just said, yeah, if you piss me off about this, I'm just going to nuke Moscow? Honestly, I don't know. I don't. But he clearly didn't change his mind in one day. Well, you're saying that Trump can't come out with these files. I'm asking you, why can't he come out with the files? By the way, if English isn't your first language, there's a high probability that you aren't an American. I don't know. Maybe you are an American. Okay, this guy seems to be pretty positive. I guess I'm originally from Iraq. Okay, now you're an American? Good, welcome. All right, never mind. That's good. Yes, I am an American? All right, great. He's not in it. How can he be in it? There's a lot of ways he could be in it, man. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there's plenty of ways. Because maybe he got threatened? Then why doesn't he just kill the people that threatened him? He bombed Iran overnight with B-2 bombers. He destroyed their entire nuclear facilities, and you're telling me that he can't kill the people that are threatening him? It's bullshit. No, it's why Democrat didn't release it if he's in it, seriously? Because they're in it too, and there's a third party that has access to it. What if it's a foreign government like Israel? I think that if Israel said that they were blackmailing Trump by, like, I will just, if any country said that they were blackmailing Trump and that they would threaten to kill Trump if you release the Epstein files, I think that the American people would overwhelmingly support obliterating that country. Straight up. I'll say it. I know I would.
In aces, right? Swore Epstein was either a witting or unwitting intelligence asset, and they may have had his plane wired up, and they're the ones who have all this stuff. So the point is, to sum it up, how do you know some of these countries aren't going to some of these power players who aren't making decisions because, hey, you wouldn't want this video out there, right?
Somebody says I'm crazy. I'm crazy. No, I'm not. I'm the only person who's not. I think that there's a lot of people. This is a big issue that a lot of people have, is that they're so afraid of the direct and immediate effects of a confrontation that they let it get worse over time. And because of that, because they let it get worse over time, it makes the problem at a certain point unapproachable. And I think that really it's important to effectively, like, it's important to kill problems as soon as they start to exist rather than letting them fester and grow and get worse over time.